The biggest question being asked at this moment is who endangered the life of India's Prime Minister? It's now emerged that at least 3 intelligence alerts were sent to the Punjab police which warned of disruptions by farmers and roadblocks. The alerts also said that VIPs are likely to take the road because of rain being predicted. What's more, government sources have told India Today that a contingency road rehearsal was done on the eve of the Prime Minister's visit to Punjab. Why then was the Bathinda-Firozpur route not properly sanitized by the Punjab police?
The breach in Prime Minister's security has led to a full-blown war between the centre and the Congress government in Punjab. The centre has blamed Punjab police for the lapses, even as the Channi government pointed fingers at the SPG. And amid this blame game, India Today has accessed letters and alerts that were sent to the Punjab police days before the Prime Minister's visit. The letters reveal that the Punjab police were warned about roadblocks by farmers. Punjab police were also asked to make necessary traffic diversion plans in advance for the Prime Minister's hassle-free travel. The alerts also mentioned that the VIPs may take the road to reach their destination. This is in complete contrast to what the Punjab government has claimed. Punjab Chief Minister Charanjit Singh Channi said that the decision of the Prime Minister to go by road to Martyrs Memorial was taken at the last minute, and the Punjab police was informed after the Prime Minister's security abandoned the idea of taking a helicopter to Firozpur.
पहले रात को मुझे अमित शाह जी का टेलीफोन आया कि जी वहाँ रोड पे प्रदर्शनकारी बैठे हैं। प्राइम मिनिस्टर ने तो बाई एयर जाना था, वो रैली वाले जो रैली में जा रहे थे लोग उनको रोकने के लिए बैठे थे। अगले दिन प्रधानमंत्री जी हेलीकॉप्टर पे जाने वाले थे, किसी को क्या पता था कि हमने उसके लिए रोड रोकना है, प्रोग्राम ही नहीं था। लास्ट मोमेंट पे उतरकर प्रोग्राम बना के अब गाड़ी में जाएंगे।
But sources say a contingency rehearsal for the road journey from Bathinda to Firozpur was carried out on the eve of Modi's visit. They say during the advanced security liaison, a contingency plan for the road journey from Bathinda to Firozpur was discussed in detail with the Punjab administration. The issue of security breach has now reached the Supreme Court, which is likely to take up the matter on Friday. As politics built up on the incident, Congress leader Manish Tiwari asked for a thorough probe into the matter.
If there has been a security breach, the entire chain of circumstances, the entire chain of events as they unfolded from Bathinda airport till that Firozpur flyover need to be ascertained, it needs to be gone into. And those who are responsible for this breach, they must be held accountable, because ultimately this is not a subject of a political football. This concerns the security of the Prime Minister.
The Punjab government has also constituted a high-level committee to probe the matter. The committee comprises of retired Justice Mehtab Singh Gill, Principal Secretary, Home Affairs and Justice Anurag Verma. Did Punjab police ignore warnings and alerts? Who was responsible for the lapses in Prime Minister's security? A thorough, impartial investigation may well bring out the truth. Bureau Report, India Today.
It has now emerged that protesters who blocked the Prime Minister's motorcade were from the Bharatiya Kisan Union Krantikari. The organization's leader was chest-thumping after getting the Prime Minister's rally cancelled, so he thought, publicly thanking his supporters. Today, he said that it was the Firozpur SSP who told him what route the Prime Minister's cavalcade would be taking. He also says he was asked to vacate by the police but chose not to.
By all accounts, the most serious security breach for a sitting Prime Minister in decades. An incident that has triggered alarm bells in the PMO. And a firestorm in the political battlefield of Punjab. And there's another big reason why the dust won't be settling anytime soon. Leader of the farmer group that claimed responsibility for the breach, DKU Krantikari, has made a sensational revelation.
ਕਿਹੜਾ ਪੁਲਿਸ ਅਫਸਰ ਸੀ ਜਿਨੇ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਦੱਸਿਆ ਕੋਈ ਹੈ ਉਸ ਟਾਈਮ
ਐਸਐਸਪੀ ਫਿਰੋਜ਼ਪੁਰ ਸੀਗੇ
ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਕਿਹਾ
ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਕਿਹਾ ਵੀ ਪ੍ਰਧਾਨ ਮੰਤਰੀ ਆ ਰਿਹਾ ਸੀ ਆਖਿਆ ਆਪਣਾ ਐਸਐਸਪੀ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਤੁਹਾਡੀ ਵੀ ਇੰਨੀ ਸਰਵਿਸ ਹੋ ਗਈ ਇਹ ਹੁਣ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਨੇ ਵੀ ਪਹਿਲਾਂ ਤਾਂ ਨਹੀਂ ਸੀਗਾ ਵੀ ਹੁਣ ਆ ਰਿਹਾ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਐ ਲੱਗਿਆ ਵੀ ਅਸਲ ਵਿੱਚ ਸਾਡੇ ਨਾਲ ਬਲੱਫ ਕਰ ਰਹੇ ਨੇ ਕੋਈ ਪ੍ਰਧਾਨ ਮੰਤਰੀ ਨੇ ਨਹੀਂ ਆਉਣਾ ਪ੍ਰਧਾਨ ਮੰਤਰੀ ਆਪਦਾ ਬਾਈ 에ਅਰ ਆਊਗਾ ਹੈਲੀਪੈਡ ਬਣਿਆ ਹੋਇਆ
Surjit Singh Phool claims that SSP of Firozpur told them that the Prime Minister was going to travel by road. They were asked to leave, but they did not. Did no one from the Punjab police check whether the area was vacated or not? India Today has found that farmer protesters from nearby Misriwala and Pyarewala villages knew every movement of Prime Minister Modi's convoy.
ਕੋਈ ਜਾਣਕਾਰੀ ਨਹੀਂ ਮਿਲੀ ਜੀ ਕਿਸੇ ਵੱਲੋਂ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਤਾਂ ਜਾਣਕਾਰੀ ਸਾਡੇ ਫੋਨਾਂ ਤੋਂ ਸਾਡੇ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਟੀਵੀ ਵਿੱਚ ਚੈਨਲ ਚੱਲਦੇ ਸਾਰੇ ਚੈਨਲਾਂ ਤੋਂ ਜਾਣਕਾਰੀ ਮਿਲੀ ਸੀਗੀ ਜਦੋਂ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਪਤਾ ਲੱਗ ਗਿਆ ਵੀ ਬਠਿੰਡੇ ਦੀ ਧਰਤੀ ਤੇ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਦਾ ਜਹਾਜ਼ ਲੈਂਡ ਹੋ ਗਿਆ ਬਠਿੰਡੇ ਦੀ ਧਰਤੀ ਤੋਂ ਅੱਗੇ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਦਾ ਜਹਾਜ਼ ਆ ਉਹ ਨਹੀਂ ਜਾ ਰਿਹਾਗਾ
The seriousness of the situation can be gauged by the fact that the protesters knew that PM Modi's motorcade was moving on the Husainwala road.
ਨੂੰ ਇਹ ਚੀਜ਼ ਦਾ ਪਤਾ ਸੀਗਾ ਵੀ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਫਿਰੋਜ਼ਪੁਰ ਦੀ ਧਰਤੀ ਤੇ ਆਉਣ ਵਾਸਤੇ PM ਮੋਦੀ ਕੋਲੇ ਹੋਰ ਕੋਈ ਵੱਡਾ ਰੋਡ ਹੈ ਨਹੀਂਗਾ ਵੱਡਾ ਰੋਡ ਕਿ ਜੇ ਆ ਇਹਦੇ ਮੋਗਾ ਨੈਸ਼ਨਲ ਹਾਈਵੇ ਆ
Farmer unions who led big protests in Punjab's Firozpur on Wednesday, blocking Prime Minister Narendra Modi's convoy, are now thumping their chests over a perceived victory. Bharatiya Kisan Union Krantikari chief Surjit Singh Phool has publicly thanked his supporters for gathering at the flyover and said that their agitation will continue. The farmer group has claimed responsibility for the agitation that led to the Prime Minister's convoy being blocked for 20 minutes on the way to Firozpur. One of Surjit Singh's supporters also said he expressed thanks for successfully blocking the Prime Minister's sanitized route.
ਮੋਦੀ ਨੇ ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਮੂਹਰੇ ਕਿੱਲ ਕੱਢੇ ਸੀ ਮੋਦੀ ਨੇ ਔਰ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਅੱਜ ਉਹਦੇ ਪੈਰਾਂ ਥੱਲੇ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਸੜਕਾਂ ਤੇ ਅੱਗ ਵਿਛਾਤੀ ਅੱਜ ਤੁਹਾਡੀ ਤਾਕਤ ਨੇ ਮੋਦੀ ਨੂੰ ਰੈਲੀ ਨਹੀਂ ਕਰਨ ਦਿੱਤੀ ਮੋਦੀ ਨੂੰ ਭਜਾਦਾ ਇੱਥੋਂ ਉਹਨੇ ਕਿੱਲਾਂ ਦਾ ਜਵਾਬ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਸੜਕਾਂ ਤੇ ਅੱਗ ਵਿਛਾ ਕੇ ਦਿੱਤਾ ਅੱਜ ਸੋ ਤੁਹਾਡਾ ਸਾਰਿਆਂ ਦਾ ਬਹੁਤ ਬਹੁਤ ਧੰਨਵਾਦ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਵੀਰ ਦਮ ਰੱਖ ਕੇ ਲੜੇ ਆ ਤੁਹਾਡਾ ਬਹੁਤ ਬਹੁਤ ਧੰਨਵਾਦ
However, only a day later, BKU appears to have had a change of heart and has now said blocking the Prime Minister's convoy wasn't their intention.
प्रधानमंत्री की रैली में लोग क्यों नहीं आए? किसान मजदूर प्रधानमंत्री की रैली का विरोध क्यों करते हैं? उन सब मुद्दों को डीरेल करने के लिए अजय मिश्रा टैनी को बचाने के लिए जो किसानों के कातिल हैं वो प्रधानमंत्री के पास बैठते हैं।
कांग्रेस के अंदर डर था इतनी बड़ी रैली होने जा रही है तो कांग्रेस की चूल्हे तो हिली हुई थी और हिल जाएंगी इसके डर से किसान की आड़ में एक बार फिर अराजकता फैलाने की कोशिश की गई।
The chest thumping and then softening has raised several more questions on the security breach and the failure of protocol down the chain in the state of Punjab. Bureau Report, India Today.
We now have a video where a top farmer leader on air is saying that Harman Hans, the SSP of Firozpur, told the farmers that this is the route that the cavalcade would be taking. We've got on air, on record and on video, farmer leaders taking credit for having got the Prime Minister's rally cancelled and in the way that they say it, for chasing the Prime Minister out of Punjab. So very clearly there was information which was available. It's not just that the farmers happened to be there on that route, not just that the police failed to secure the route from Bathinda to Firozpur, but also gave information to the farmer leaders, told them that the PM will be taking that route. That's a gross violation of the Blue Book and of security protocols. Joining me on this broadcast, representing the Punjab government, Congress's national spokesperson Supriya Shirnath. Squaring off against Supriya, we have Syed Zafar Islam, Rajya Sabha MP of the BJP. Raghav Chadda is in charge of the Aam Aadmi Party in Punjab. It's interesting to see how this battle between BJP and the Congress which polarizes voters on both sides of this divide, impacts the AAP's attempts to try and make further inroads into Punjab. For a perspective on police and SPG, we've got O.P. Singh. He's been former Director General of Police in Uttar Pradesh. He's also been with the SPG, was with the NDRF, so understands different investigative agencies, also understands how policing works. Yashovardhan Azad, former Special Director of the Intelligence Bureau. He's been in charge of the Prime Minister's security, well-regarded police officers. Welcome. I want to go across to Supriya Shrinnath first, because in the report that we played out, new videos which have emerged have farmer leaders naming the SSP of Firozpur as being the one who told them that the Bathinda to Firozpur route is the route that the Prime Minister's cavalcade will take. Very clearly, there is now clinching evidence to suggest that the Prime Minister's security details were compromised. Information was shared about where the Prime Minister's cavalcade will be passing from, and this is a gross violation of the Prime Minister's security protocol, and it happened on your watch, ma'am.
Farthest from the truth, and I will tell you why it's farthest from the truth and why you should not be quoting this man as liberally as you and your channel are quoting them. The BKU Krantikari leader, Mr. Surjit Singh Phool, is the same person who was suspended by the SKM for anti-farmer activities because he had some involvement in the 26 January fiasco as well. Why are we taking what he's saying on face value is a big counter question that I would want to raise. I also want to emphasize here the fact that the Prime Minister was taking the most travelled route from Bathinda to Firozpur, the highway, was obviously going to be known to people. He had already travelled 2 hours to get to where he was finally blocked by the farmers. Having said that, I have only one question. Minister Channi, I saw some program of yours with one of your reporters was doing a show in which he was giving an interview in his car. He was stopped by protesters. He went ahead, spoke to them. I'm only asking one question. When the Prime Minister, when his government, when his ministers and when his spokespersons and a section of the media are suggesting that there was grave threat to the life of India's Prime Minister in Punjab, are we here suggesting that we have become such a spoilt banana republic beyond repair that our Prime Minister's life is under threat? हम 3 करोड़ पंजाबियों को देश के प्रधानमंत्री का दुश्मन घोषित कर रहे हैं? क्या प्रधानमंत्री अपने देश में सुरक्षित नहीं है आज? ये सवाल प्रधानमंत्री को और भारतीय जनता पार्टी को इसलिए जवाब देना चाहिए क्योंकि आज दुनिया पूछ रही है कि क्या हमारे यहाँ इतनी अराजकता हो गई कि हमारे देश के प्रधानमंत्री की जान को खतरा है? Let us take a break and let us see what has happened. Punjab has seen massive farmer unrest thanks to the laws that Mr. Modi finally had to withdraw. Obviously, he was given, directions not to go by road. I also want to ask one more question.
Okay.
SPG is the final call on the Prime Minister's movement.
Okay.
Who took the call in the SPG to take the Prime Minister by road?
I want to show
that's the
our
question one needs to ask. What was the ID
snatches from that interview done by Aaj Tak's National Affairs editor Ashok Singhal, who interviewed Charanjit Singh Channi in an interview that's now gone viral. And I want to go across to Syed Zafar Islam as I call those pictures up. What happens during this interview is that there is a group of farmers who are protesting on the route that the cavalcade was taking. Channi happens to see them. He says, stop, stop, I want to talk to them. They are opposing the Chief Minister. So the slogans are Channi, hi, hi, Congress, hi, hi. He goes out, he talks to them. They want to meet him. He says, come meet me at 11 a.m. tomorrow. The Congress is saying the BJP is hyping this up, that there was no threat to the Prime Minister's security. Nobody fired a gun or threw a stone. They were standing there, they were protesting, and they're showing what Channi did to suggest that that's probably what the Prime Minister could have done. They were his people, they are his people, they are his farmers. He likes Punjab, he says. He could have got out and spoken to them, or even if he didn't have to, didn't need to make this point that these farmers were a threat to his life. How do you respond to what Channi and Supriya are saying? Syed Zafar Islam.
Well, Rahul, we are discussing about Prime Minister's security, and the breach of security is something which was unprecedented. We have never seen that Prime Minister's security has been breached the way it has been breached yesterday. And more importantly, all these minute details gets decided and approved by the authorities well in advance, 72 hours in advance. In this case also, everything was discussed with based on the recommendation by the Home Ministry in the form of Blue Book, and of course by the SPG, and SPG engages every agencies and every important officers who is responsible for the Prime Minister's security, and then the Director General of Police, which gives clearance to the SPG for the movement. In this case, the same thing was followed. The SPG has received clearance from the Director General of Police, and then they started moving on the road. So it is the responsibility of the state administration, it is the responsibility of the state police to provide the kind of security which was supposed to be provided to the Honorable Prime Minister, but those kind of breach can happen only if there is a support from the local administration and the state administration.
Yashovardhan Azad, you've been in charge of the Prime Minister's security in the past on the basis of all the facts in the public domain at this moment. I'm coming back to you, Mr. Islam, in just a moment. Who do you think is responsible for this breach? How big a security lapse is it? BJP is saying it's the biggest lapse in Prime Minister's security in several decades. The Congress is saying this is just drama, it's not really such a big deal. There were some farmers that were protesting. If you were in charge of the Prime Minister's security, how serious a breach would you think this to be? And who do you hold responsible for what happened?
Well, in a debate like this, it is very difficult to, lay down every specific details. But broadly, I'll tell you in a very short time, because you don't have much time. See, the question is that Prime Minister's security is as per laid down protocols. And it's very well articulated in the Blue Book, and also, repeated instructions which come from the MHA looking into the gravity of the building situation. Now, we can't, a common man cannot assess the threat to the Prime Minister. The Prime Minister faces a very high level of threat, and there are intelligence agencies which are threading through various inputs which come through, and then they advise the state police accordingly. And therefore, for a Prime Minister of India who faces a very, very high threat, not now, since the early 89 when we had the problem in Kashmir, you have to make security arrangements which are the order of the day. In the case of Punjab, what has actually happened is it is a technical and a professional failure. Why it is a professional failure is because of the high threat faced by a Prime Minister when he is sitting duck on an overbridge. His entire cavalcade with entry-exit is blocked, is there, which is just right on the border. It is Hussainiwala is that famous outpost, and you know that this is virtually on the border. So on a bordering district, in a bordering state, on a flyover with almost, entry-exit blocked both sides, it's a very, very dangerous situation. That is why this is called a gaping hole in PM security. Now, there are various reasons why it took place. I mean, who is responsible? The question is, as per laid down protocols, the proximate security of the Prime Minister lies with the SPG, and the overall responsibility of the security of the Prime Minister lies with the state. Now, the question is, when the Prime Minister, the weather is bad, in Bhatinda when Prime Minister lands, obviously there is a contingency plan even otherwise, but if you know that the weather is bad, then obviously the entire forces have to be marshaled towards that road journey. Now, I'm given to understand there was already a route recce, there was an ASL regarding that. In all such cases, there is somebody who's there from the SPG who has a constant liaison with the state authorities. Now, in an electioneering situation, I can understand that it is not practical that you can totally sanitize 110 kilometers route. It's not possible. I mean, if somebody says it, it's wrong. Unless you put snipers on both sides and shoot the people.
No, but it's tricky. It's tricky, and I'll tell you why it's tricky. For example, what happened when the Meerut Expressway was being inaugurated, or when the Prime Minister was in Varanasi, you had people everywhere. So it's not as if it's fully sanitized all the time. There are people on the route, and if security and the presence of people is a concern, then you never know whether it's in Meerut or in Varanasi, amongst the throngs of people who are there, whether there's somebody who has an ulterior motive. So it's a very, very complicated situation.
So exactly.
as well.
So that is why, that's why you didn't hear my later part. No? So that is why in a situation like this, what happens is Otherwise, the route is totally sanitized. But in electioning, when your force is distributed, in any case, in the Prime Minister's convoy, you have a backup force from the state police, which goes. It happens all the time in UP, as OP Singh will tell you. And the job of that police is that if there is any kind of blockade on the route, they should clear it. Now, the actual mistake has occurred that the policemen, there are two things. One is that the Prime Minister cannot be brought so close to the danger. I don't know at what time they got this threat that the area is blocked. The SPG should have clearly said, we will not go ahead. And we will find a temporary safe house around that area. Now, in that particular place, the leadership of the police should not have dithered, trying to, do good morning and good evening with those protesters. They would have said, देखिए, अगर आप चाहते हैं झंडा दिखाना, पीछे से दिखाइए, हमें कोई मतलब नहीं है. But the Prime Minister's convoy cannot be stopped in any case. And the policemen dithered. The police leadership is dithering in everywhere. Even in UP, if this happens, they will do it. They will not do any kind of thing against the Kisans, because you understand almost 2 months back or something, when something took place like this and the sacrilege case, and the police had to fire on the violent protesters, 2 got killed. Today, cases have been instituted against the policemen. So they think it's better to play safe. And they told the Prime Minister, कि देखिए हम तो यहाँ बातचीत कर रहे हैं, 15-20 मिनट लगेगा, जरा रुक जाइए. That is the mistake they did. Okay. They should have cleared it, even if force had to be used.
And in fact, there was a call to Chief Minister Channi, and Chief Minister Channi told the DGP, do not use force. He was very clear that force would not be used. And that again is something where there are questions, because if the Prime Minister's route was not being cleared, you had to move the farmers away. The Chief Minister is now on record saying he didn't want force to be used. Raghav Chadha, this is a big Congress versus BJP face-off. The AAP was hoping to, consolidate its position in the few weeks before polling days. How do you see the AAP being positioned in this big Congress's state government versus BJP's central government fight?
Look, this is not a BJP versus Congress versus AAP. Quite frankly, the security of the Honorable Prime Minister of India is a non-partisan issue which is above party politics. And the responsibility to provide proximate security to the Prime Minister is with the SPG. And security beyond the proximate cover is with the state government. And the entire security apparatus, whether it is with those the agencies of the state or the agencies of the union, are to be looked at, must be investigated, and whoever is responsible for this lapse, howsoever major or minor it may be, must be taken to task, because we are not referring to an individual called Narendra Modi or the Bharatiya Janata Party leader called Narendra Modi, but the Prime Minister of India, Narendra Modi, and it is about the institution of the Prime Minister and not merely about the individual. Number one. Number two, the fact is, Rahul, that every time as elections in Punjab approach, we see a trend, and the trend is of certain activities which are, unearthed or are executed, engineered in a fashion to, to disturb the peace and harmony of the state. In 2017, right before the elections, you saw the issues, the attempts of sacrilege and Beadbi. Subsequent to that, you had the infamous Maud blast right before the election, 3 to 4 days before the state went to polls. And the entire atmosphere stood vitiated. Similarly, now in the run-up to the 2022 elections, you first see attempts of sacrilege at Sri Harmandir Sahib and several other places in Punjab. Then you see a blast in Ludhiana court complex. Now you see a lapse in the Prime Minister's security. It somehow appears that there is a very well-concerted, design to disturb peace and harmony in Punjab, and it appears that the state government, which is currently with Chief Minister Charanjit Singh Channi, is a lame duck government, is a weak government, is a compromised government that is unable to handle law and order in the state. Now, permit me to, share some facts with you. This Channi government, in the last 100 days since the time it's been in office, has changed and is likely to change once more, has changed its DGP, that is the Director General of Police, on more than 3 occasions. And the 4th change is about to happen. They have changed their Advocate General twice. And you have SSPs and Thanedars being transferred left, right and center, not on a weekly or a daily basis, but on an hourly basis.
Okay.
So the entire security apparatus of the state is compromised. That's point number one.
Okay, you've spoken enough. I want to go across to OP Singh. Mr. Singh, you've been with the SPG. I'm coming back to you. Raghav, in a moment. Raghav, let me come back to you in a moment. You've spoken at length. Okay, cheti karo, Paji, cheti karo, enna lamba bol rahe ho tusi. Okay, 20 seconds, go on.
What I want to say is that howsoever unconnected this may be, it is also true that the rally of the Prime Minister was a complete flop. They were hoping for 5 lakh people to show up. Not more than 5,000 people showed up at the rally. Now, I also wish to say in the very same breath that the Prime Minister, who is extremely unpopular in the state of Punjab, people of Punjab hate the Bharatiya Janata Party and he's super unpopular. This doesn't mean that his security is to be compromised or not looked after by the state. So both these points are valid. Okay. What the BJP is saying, what the Congress is saying, I take one point from each of them because both are valid points that they've made.
OP Singh, you've been DGP of Uttar Pradesh. You've also been with the SPG. So I thought it'd be interesting to have your view both from a policing and SPG perspective. Yashovardhan Azad made an important point. At some point in time, when the cavalcade was traveling from Bathinda to Firozpur, it would have been known to the SPG that there are protesters on this highway. Did the SPG dither and delay the decision to turn back? Instead of bringing the Prime Minister so close to hostile protesters, should the SPG have turned around instead of allowing for this flare-up? If they just gone back, there wouldn't have been a flare-up. It wouldn't have become such a big deal. Could this have been handled better? OP Singh.
Look, Rahul, it's very difficult to visualize the entire scenario sitting in Delhi. I do not know about the ground reality, but all that I have seen in video clippings and so many other reports, Mr. Azad is quite candid and he spoke very well about the whole scenario. SPG is responsible for the proximate security, and the state government is fully responsible for the entire law and order situation as well as protecting the secure environment. Now, before the Prime Minister's visit, the advance information is given to the state government and a lot of meetings take place. And the first and the foremost and the most important being the advanced security liaison, in which all the agencies, be it the IB or the SPG or the state police or the various other agencies, they try to discuss things in greater details. They try to sort out the irritants arising out of the whole scenario. They talk about the imminent threats. They talk about the...
Can I press you, sir, as best as you can to answer my question? Did the SPG dither? Should they have kept the Prime Minister away from these protesters? Should they have turned back sooner? It is highly likely and quite easy to visualize that at some point in time they would have been told that there are farmers up ahead, they are protesting. Should the SPG then have just turned the cavalcade back?
I think the SPG must have been told about everything, and after getting the clearance from the DGP, after getting the clearance from the state police, the SPG would have agreed to go ahead, and assurance must have been given to the SPG about the entire scenario. And now getting stuck in the flyover, now it was very difficult to get back immediately. And that is why they had to wait for about 15-20 minutes. This is what I visualized. And the demonstrators were at a distance, and they might be talking to the demonstrators, but it wasn't strategically possible for the SPG to get back immediately. They must have waited for a few minutes. They waited for about 15 to 20 minutes. But I think it was with the concurrence and with the clearance by the state government, by the state DGP or the representative of the DGP, that all things would have done.
Yashovardhan Azad wants to come in. Do you concur with this or do you disagree? Do you think the SPG should have turned back sooner?
No, you see, it's not a question of turning back. The question is that the PM should be away from the area of confrontation. So at the point on the route, whenever you get an information, there is a blockade, you immediately find out what are you doing about. Can it be cleared by the time we reach? If it cannot be cleared, then the PM should be, put away somewhere at a side place that is called a temporary safe house. Any SPG expert will tell you that. So that is most important. And when things become absolutely normal, then he's taken. You cannot go right near the spot where everything is taking place. That is the danger.
I have a comment made by INB Minister Anurag Thakur, where Syed Zafar Islam, the INB minister, is talking about big and tough decisions being taken in Punjab. This is now leading people to wonder whether the BJP is mulling imposing president's rule in the state.
Well, he has not spelled out, so I wouldn't be able to comment on that. But let me tell you very candidly, Rahul, the way everyone has expressed, and everyone has expressed that there was a breach of security and it was mismanaged, or it was somehow been planned by the state administration, or somehow they were instrumental in organizing that. I think it's an amount of treason on the part of the Chief Minister of Punjab, and he should be tried definitely under the law of the land, and he should be punished, because he is definitely been responsible for guiding the state police or state administration, because unless the role of the state administration, DGP cannot give instruction to SPG to initiate the movement of the Honorable Prime Minister's convocant.
Some actions, Supriya, of the Chief Minister raised questions. You know, when he was asked, why were you not travelling with the Prime Minister, why didn't you receive him at Bathinda? He said that I'd come in contact with somebody who had COVID and therefore I was in isolation. Soon after, he does a press conference where he's with the media, doesn't have a mask, is flanked by others in his government and is talking in a very public place, clearly not in isolation. Then if he's in isolation, he should stay in isolation for a while longer. Instead, he then is out campaigning and canvassing across the state of Punjab, including doing interviews with India Today and Aaj Tak. And yet again, doesn't seem to be nice. So some of what he's saying simply doesn't add up. If he's in isolation, why is he doing press conferences and rallies? And if he isn't in isolation, why couldn't he just show up to be with the Prime Minister?
I just hope you're not going to intervene as I speak, because that is the trouble with half-truth and absolute lies. If you heard Chief Minister Channi, what did he say? His principal secretary and his private secretary had tested positive for COVID. He had a cabinet meeting. The cabinet advised him to inform this to the PMO, because according to the new rules, anybody who's coming in touch with the Prime Minister, whether on stage or otherwise, has to be doing an RT-PCR. The RT-PCR was done. He tested negative, but he informed the PMO, which told him that even though you've tested negative, please join us only on a VC. Do not come to receive the Prime Minister. He had tested negative, and so he went ahead and did the press conference and also that interview. That's the half lie and the whole truth, that half truth and whole lie that I busted right now. I also want to say something very clearly.
Well, actually, you're saying half lie, whole truth. Is that that's not what the BJP says? One second. Let me just clarify. That's not what the BJP says. Because one second, you're saying lie, this, that. So I must interject to say the BJP is making a point completely to the contrary, saying that Channi chose not to come. And they're also saying that the Home Ministry tried to get in the Chief Minister on a phone when this incident was happening, telling him to speak to the protesters, to speak to the DGP, and the Chief Minister did not pick up his phone. That's what the BJP is saying. So what we have is, I'm not certain what is lie, what is truth. What we have is the Congress's version versus the BJP's version. But go ahead,
No, Rahul. No, Rahul. That is wrong. I am not going to believe source-based BJP information or the spokespersons telling us what they are. I will believe what's going to come from the PMO officially and what comes from the Home Ministry. And the official version, the written version is that the Chief Minister got in touch with the PMO, who told him not to come because people around him had tested positive for COVID, even though he was negative. This is on record. This is written. Let the government refute this. I challenge them right here. I also challenge them on the other part that you said. Syed Zafar Islam, how dare you use a word like treason for a democratically elected Chief Minister? How absolutely dare you? Do you believe that there was a plot to kill the Prime Minister? Let us respect his office, if not the man himself. What is wrong with all of you is a question I want to raise. I also want to ask the security experts,
to that, Rahul. I will respond to that.
Who is the final authority on the Prime Minister? Wait, please. Please don't speak in between. I did not speak in your turn. Who is responsible for the Prime Minister's ultimate movement? The SPG. How do they decide? Based on intelligence reports. Did IB not tell that the entire state of Punjab is brimming with no confidence against the Chief Minister and he should ideally not travel? The truth is right here in these empty chairs. Those chairs could not be filled despite the Prime Minister being on the road for 2 hours, and which is why he chose to go back. And I also want to ask one more question. Here's the SPG surrounding the Prime Minister's car. But why is his actual line of sight being left vacant? For security cameras or for actually television cameras to get some sight? What are we even talking about here? The reality is that the Prime Minister has been stuck in jam in Uttar Pradesh twice, in Delhi once, and the BJP put it on the official Twitter handle saying, क्या आम आदमी है, जाम में भी फंस जाते हैं, प्रदर्शनकारी भी आ जाते हैं, लेकिन जब आप पंजाब जाते हैं तो आपकी जान को खतरा होता है। उत्तर प्रदेश के हवाई अड्डे पे आपने कहा था, जाके बता देना योगी आदित्यनाथ को मैं जिंदा वापस आ गया हूं। Let us not play dirty politics and let us not put a ring of suspicion on 3 crore Punjabis who actually die for this country. जितने आपने झंडे नहीं फहराए ना, उससे ज्यादा उनके लड़के शहादत करके उस झंडों में लिपटे हुए हैं।
Syed Zafar Islam wants to counter that. Mr. Islam, go ahead, please.
And I am talking about
Syed
facts.
Zafar Islam.
I don't speak on lies. He can counter it whatever I want. Stop lying.
Syed Zafar Islam.
जिन्होंने दिल्ली का वायलेंस और राइट्स कराए थे स्टेज से, वो यहाँ पर देंगे।
I think she should.
Oh, please.
Now you have spoken, so allow me to respond.
You never put anybody
Rahul, first of all, she should know that
please go ahead.
SPG takes inputs from everyone, be it IB, be it any other agencies. But the final go-ahead is always given by, or the clearance given by the state DGP. And the DGP has given clearance to SPG, and then they started moving on the road.
The SPG
Secondly, I
is
think
the
she should know that.
authority that
it is not SPG which takes the. Please do not speak in between.
What was the
You were preaching me not to speak, and you are
Don't shout.
No, you were preaching me not to speak, and you are speaking. Come on, don't behave in a manner that people will shout at you. You people, it is your Chief Minister who should actually should have taken the phone call from the Home Ministry and SPG, but he chose not to take the phone call at that point in time. He didn't take the phone call. Every Chief Minister should have known
at
whichever state, the Chief Minister should know that where the Prime Minister is going.
Do not lie.
Let him speak. No, Supriya, you wanted that you would not be interjected when you were speaking. No. Extend the same courtesy to Syed Zafar Islam. Let Zafar Islam speak. Zafar.
They are talking about half truth and half lies. See the double standard. I didn't interrupt, so allow me to speak. It is Chandi's responsibility to ensure the safety and security of the Prime Minister. But he chose not to even pick the phone. What does that indicate? And why I will not say that it amounts to treason. The Chief Minister should know the movement of the Prime Minister. He should have been the first one to know about this interruption and people protesting there. And he should have given the instructions of the DGP. But instead, he chose not to take the phone call of the Home Ministry as well as when the SPG guys were calling him. That only suggests that's the reason why I said it's a amount to treason and it should be tried. Eventually we'll know that it is Chandi's role, it is the state administration role, it is the state administration which has given instruction to the police, and that's why we have seen the kind of breach which we had never seen in the last 75 years of our independence.
You know, this interview with the Chief Minister that's being spoken about, as much as it is, I want to show our viewers a short excerpt from the interview the Chief Minister Chani did with Aaj Tak's National Affairs editor Ashok Singhal. Here it is.
वहाँ एसपीजी थी, टोटल कंट्रोल एसपीजी कर रही थी, वहाँ बीएसएफ थी, वहाँ आईबी थी, इनकी टोटल इंटेलिजेंस टीम थी। जहाँ प्रधानमंत्री जाते हैं 5 दिन पहले से कब्जा उन्होंने ले लिया था जगह का। वहाँ जितना कंट्रोल था वहाँ वहाँ सेंटर का कंट्रोल था, पंजाब का नहीं था।
तो स्टेट पुलिस की जिम्मेवारी होती है चन्नी साहब।
जिम्मेवारी ये क्यों नहीं बोलते कि एसपीजी का फेल्योर है, ये क्यों नहीं बोलते कि दिल्ली इंटेलिजेंस का फेल्योर है। लास्ट मोमेंट पे उतरकर प्रोग्राम बना के अब गाड़ी में जाएंगे। जब रास्ते में जा रहे थे तो लगभग 12 किलोमीटर आगे पता चला, 1 किलोमीटर जब रह गया था वो रास्ता के एकदम आकर कुछ 5-10 बंदे सड़क पर आकर, सुनो, 10 बंदे सड़क पर आकर बैठ गए, ट्राली लगाकर। 1 किलोमीटर पहले पता चल गया 1 किलोमीटर पहले उनकी गाड़ियां रोक ली गई, वापस मोड़ दी गई। तो इसमें रक्षा का क्या प्रोग्राम आ गया? खतरा कहाँ है इसमें? इसमें कहाँ है कि प्रधानमंत्री जी की गाड़ी के नजदीक 1 किलोमीटर तक भी कोई आया?
गृह मंत्रालय ने
ये प्रदर्शनकारी मुझे रोकना चाहते हैं। रोको रोको रोको, दिखाओ ये
गृह मंत्रालय।
दिखाओ। दिखाते क्यों नहीं अब? ये देखो, ये प्रदर्शनकारी आए ना मुझे रोकने के लिए, तो मैं अब इनको मार दूं? अब मैं कहूं कि मुझे सिक्योरिटी थ्रेट है, ये सिक्योरिटी थ्रेट है।
Yashovardhan Azad, what do you think needs to happen next? You've clearly established that there was a security lapse. It's very dangerous for the Prime Minister to have been exposed to people with hostile intentions, even if they are protesting against him. You don't want the Prime Minister to be in that kind of a situation so close to the Pakistan border. Whose heads should roll? How should accountability be established in this case?
I think two very important things I want to mention in the end. One is that when you have a debate of this kind or a nation's debate, the main problem is that the people of this country would like to know what happened to the Prime Minister's breach of security. And that is why it is important for the professionals to come on board and explain that. You know, instead of the ministers speaking and speaking so many things, alleging moons and Mars and conspiracy, I wish from the Ministry of Home Affairs there was a Special Secretary Home who's an IPS officer who had come to the platform before the press and explained the facts, what had happened. That is number one. And when you institute inquiry like of the Punjab kind, it's very good that they have instituted an inquiry, but in that inquiry there is no professional policeman who is well versed in VIP security matters to make a professional assessment. So what I'm saying is, if you have a totally political look over it, with everyone giving an assessment whether the Prime Minister was under the threat or not, then of course the entire thing will mired into controversy. And that's why I hope that at the center, there are professionals who look into it in a professional way. And the last very important point, Rahul, is that this is also a breach of federalism, the concept of federalism. The PM's security can be done by a harmonious balance between the states and the center. And even if you're from different parties, at least the policemen on their own so far had excellent coordination. It seems that that is breaking a little now.
You make important points, and I'll let those be the last word. You've heard from the BJP, you heard from the Congress, you've heard from the Aam Aadmi Party, you've heard from somebody who's been in the IB, you've heard from somebody who's been in the SPG and in the police. You form your own judgment on where you believe responsibility needs to be pinned. I'm slipping into a break. I'll have more for you on the other side. Stay with us. We're back in a moment.